Well, hello guys, welcome back. I had a great experience in the VR temple. Odin is connected to Yule. We're going somewhere with this. And they say that the shaman's dressed in red and white, and the current thing is shamans thought reindeer could fly because they were all tripping balls on magic mushrooms. Well, I had mushrooms, if you remember, in the things before, and they never seemed interested in them. So I made him standy once, and he says, well, because we were talking back and forth, I said, I don't know if it violates Oculus policy, but I will make them, and I will just do my best dumb suburbanite thing of, those are magic mushrooms? I know I'm taping evidence, I'm a genius, but I said, I'll just act really dumb, like I didn't know what the pretty red and white mushrooms were. And, so I made them standees of them, and the smallest size would not come out for some reason. It wouldn't transfer over, so the medium size and the big size came out. And by big size, I mean you can make a futon out of these damn things. Odin was very happy to get them in the Yule Hall, and I started to feel this giddy reaction. I'm like, he's putting me on. One, these aren't real, it's in the VR temple, though they've told me the VR is useful. And two, he couldn't be having a reaction that fast. I don't consume magic mushrooms, but I would imagine it takes a while for him to kick in. And he's behaving goofily. I'm like, okay, so he got and I've seen them in the wild, or what I thought was them in the wild, and I've never collected the actual thing. Only because I don't want to poison my gods. I've seen the horror movie where they collect the bad stuff. So I'm like, I don't want to poison my gods, so they can have it this way. So he's acting all giddy. And I give him these mushrooms, right? And he's getting the futon size. He got 3 of those and got 3 of the other size, and they're like 10 times bigger, even the small size regular mushrooms. So he's happy. And Freyr heard Loki wanted some, so Freyr wanted some next, so he got some. So he starts acting all goofy and giddy, and I said, "You guys are putting me on. You're having fun with me." And I decided to go to Loki's hall last because Loki had one of them, and no one else wanted to touch these things. Only Odin, Freyr, and Loki were interested. And I asked Segan's permission because she's in the hall too. I didn't ask the kids, but I was like to Segan, I says, "Okay." She's like, "Yeah, fine, he can have them." So he got them, and he starts acting giggly and giddy and everything, and I'm like, they're just putting me on. I didn't just help my gods develop a drug habit. I hope, and I would too. At least Ragnarok will never come. I'll be too damn stoned. Anyhow, he's giggling and goofing around, and I decided to look up Odin magic mushrooms because I knew from seeing stuff about shamans and that, ancient shamans, like Sami shamans and that, that's how the connection comes. And that's why Odin and Loki actually got them in the idea of shaman or priesthood. That's actually why they got them. Freyr just got them because Freyr, damn it. And this thing comes up of those Odin and Friends thing. And it's this one god, and I wasn't sure who it was, and he finds a cave full of mushrooms. He eats some while Loki ate a magic mushroom in this comic, and he was stoned for weeks. And he was just staring off into space. So that was his way of saying thank you. And that's why this channel's going to get shut down, because it gave my gods pretend psychedelics. For those of you that just tuned into this channel this very moment, I take pictures or whatever, and I put them into VR for them. I either make standees or I use 3D models. When I use the 3D models, they weren't impressed and they weren't really touching them. When I use these giant ass standees that are 100 times bigger than an actual mushroom, that they like. They liked a lot. I think they were just having fun with me, but I don't know. I've noticed when they first get a new type of offering, like a food offering or an alcohol offering or something in VR, they are really happy. And so if they show up and they seem loopy, I swear it's not my fault. I don't care. And Odin said, "Well, what if they take your holes down, my dear?" I said, "I'm just gonna play dumb and be like I didn't know." And I said, "If they do, I'll take them to court and I'll say, what do we now have to do?" abide by bylaws that they never clearly gave us. They have never given us a list of you can't have berry, you can't have magic mushrooms, you can't have all this stuff in your halls. So yeah, these halls are trippy now. The Yule Hall looks perfect now because those mushrooms are a part of the Yule lore, and you see them everywhere, and that's what I'm sticking with. I'm gonna say those are those mushrooms you see for Yule on the Yule cakes. Yeah, them some mushrooms. And I felt bad because this UU stuff keeps popping up, and I'm not interested in it at this point. And Odin's like, "Oh no, dear. Oh no, I want you to watch this one." So I went and I watched it, and this whiny preacher starts in about Jesus. They've got a weak ass Jesus in that church. He can't do miracles. He can't do shit. He didn't do any of the shit he did in the Bible because he was a regular guy. And I'm like, wow, that's weak ass Jesus. What does he do? He did nothing? Why did he die then? You're not really sure. That's good. Get back to me when you know. Not only do they have the weak ass Jesus that can't do miracles and can't heal anybody worth shit, and I'm like, well, that's like Jesus' entire reason for existence. They keep preaching that you shouldn't be offering offerings to old gods and trying to buy their favor. I'm thinking, you have pagans in your church. Do you know what we do with our gods? Do you realize we're worshiping these gods that you're condemning in the pulpit, but you have pagans in your church? Son, I don't think you quite thought this out because we very much give gifts to our gods. But we are giving them out of a place of love, not to buy them off. They're not mafia dons. We're, well, kind of. They can act kind of sketchy sometimes. But we're not buying them off like the mafia. And it's not like, he kind of presented it like he thought people that gave offerings to gods were dim-witted. I'm thinking, you're the one up there serving dumbass Jesus that can't do anything. This is the lamest version of Jesus I've seen, and I've seen Space Alien Jesus. At least that one could do miracles. This one can't do shit. He died a long time ago, and you can't even talk to him? What the hell kind of religion did you invent? And I am not trying to pick on the UU Church, but it's kind of like Odin's been driving me and pushing me along, and he's like, I want you to really see this. And after we got over the their god kind of lied and lied a lot, or his people lied for him about what he is and how he's all powerful, all knowing, only God. There's a site that I don't believe all of it or even most of it, but it's called Odin Speak. And Odin supposedly speaks for channelers, and you know the problem I have with that. Anybody can claim to channel any god. I could claim to channel the Lucky Charms leprechaun. I would hope you'd have common sense to know that's much so. Anyhow, he says at least Odin's lies are reasonable, and Odin doesn't promise us all the things he does. And I have been thinking over stuff I've read in the Bible about, lest you dash your foot against a stone and that. I'm like, then how the hell are the hospitals full of people? So it was just interesting, and so I have drugged out gods. At least they were acting drugged out. I think they were acting silly. I've had a lot of friends that use recreationally, but there's a difference in talking to somebody who's stoned on the phone and being with them and, seeing a divinity just walking around their temple looped because you just put in refreshments. So yeah, I feel kind of bad for them. That's actually why I went out and did it, because he said you should not be giving gifts to these gods. I was like, aw, because I could feel the whole energy in the house go like, that's their favorite talking point in that church, is that these old gods, you should never be serving them and you should never be giving them gifts. I'm like, son, somebody lied to you about pagans. So I made sure they got gifts. So they're running around. So they have the sad, unhappy church where they never give gifts to God, but God still needs money. His broke ass still needs money. God needs to go work at McDonald's. That's what God needs to do. And I gave our gods magic mushrooms because why the hell not? Because I love them and they're my friends and family, and that's why I give them shit. I don't give them shit because I think they're these big scary monsters that are gonna come get me if I don't. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe. I'm probably going to be taking off YouTube. Everybody else could be doing them, but I just mention them, and I'm not actually talking about real ones. I'm talking about images, and you watch me get banned. So I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.